Hey, welcome back. Thanks for tuning in. As always, it's really great to see you. Boy, there's been a lot that's happened already this week.
Yes, it is a lot. And if you're even thinking of buying a home or selling a home, this is very important information to know whether you want to make the right decision or whether you want to be prepared when you get through this process. And this includes everything from the latest housing data, the Federal Reserve announcement, which was today, the latest inflation numbers, and the mortgage interest rate. It all works together to create the climate that you're in right now.
Yeah, it's fun to see how all of this kind of interacts with itself throughout the week, and it looks positive. Let's go ahead and get started with the housing numbers. The median sold price in August was $705,000.
And this is 0.4% down, which is not very significant, and up 2.7% from last year.
The number of homes sold in August was 2,568.
And this is down 6.8% from last month, up 1.8% from last year.
1.8.
Mm-hmm.
The number of days on the market, and as we always remind you, that's when a property comes on the market, is active, and then goes under contract. In August, that was 25 days.
And that is up 5 days from the end of July. And it's also up 8 days from August of 2024, which tells you it's taking longer for homes to go under contract.
Yeah. And hopefully that's going to start turning as we get more buyers in the marketplace, more affordability. The number of homes for sale at the end of August was 4,307.
And this is down 3% from the previous month, which was the height of summer. And it's also up 39% from last year when we saw our lowest inventory yet.
Yeah, and then that fifth category that everybody has been yearning for, which is the percentage of original list price to sales price. And this could include, as we're seeing more and more in this current marketplace, that homes are staying on the market a little longer, so we're getting some price reductions. That number now is 98.5%.
And this is down from 98.7% last month and down from 99.7%. And I think it's just a matter of time before sellers are accustomed to the new normal and the new prices that you have to put the home on sale for if you're going to go under contract.
Yeah, so, pricing the property correctly when it goes on the market is probably more essential even now than it was before.
Yeah.
Some of the other activity that just happened this afternoon was that our Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell announced that the Federal Reserve had decided to lower the prime mortgage interest rate that they control by 0.25%. So the federal funds rate came down 0.25% in their announcement today. And probably as important to that were the reasons why they did it. There was just a CPI report. Of course, that's the Consumer Price Index report that just came out just a few days ago. And that number had actually ticked up again. It's still under 3%, but it was 2.9%.
Mm-hmm.
That led everybody to believe, well, they changed this prime, the federal funds rate. Well, they did because the unemployment numbers seem to be ticking up. An interesting note, they probably see it's currently at 4.3%, which is actually not all that bad if you look at the big scheme of things, but they predict that's going to go up to maybe around 4.5%. Some of the predictions on the CPI is that it may tick up to 3% or a bit over as the kind of the year goes on, if you will, 2025 goes on. But they are now predicting, and Jerome Powell, the chair, forecast today that there's probably 2 more rate reductions coming in the next 2 reports.
Yeah, I think the big concern was about the economy, and even though the inflation numbers kept going up, which would mean you would think that they would keep the federal funds rate higher. Actually, because of the jobs, I think they're just a little scared as to what will happen in the future for the economy. And I think they're still being very, very conservative by just doing the 0.25.
Yeah.
And today, I looked at the mortgage interest rates. It was at 6.1%, which is the lowest it's been since October of last year. So if you were fortunate enough to lock in your rate yesterday, it would have been an excellent time, because what we're seeing these days with the rates, one day it's at 6.7, the next day 6.3, next day 6.9, next day 6.5. So it really is very volatile within that 6% range. So keeping an eye on it is very important, especially if you're a home buyer.
Yeah, and to do that every single day, I think sometimes can be a little nerve-wracking, but it is a good idea. I mean, certainly we work with very professional loan officers. They mean a lot to our team. They're very insightful. They know the process, and importantly, they know what those daily rates are. So we confer. We definitely rely on those professionals, those mortgage lenders, with every single buyer, and we keep it in mind when we're working with sellers. And kind of as a side note, probably part of this, it's kind of an interesting push me, pull me type of a scenario in which you have, I think, optimism within this marketplace, but you're also feeling from a federal standpoint, broadly, that there is a sense of concern with regard to the economy kind of slowing down a little bit. So we're not sure how long this window is going to last. I mean, certainly the predictions are that we're going to have probably a good end of 2025 market, but a lot of the forecasts are that there's going to be energy building up here, especially if rates would come down, optimism, stays high, that we'll go into 2026 with probably a lot of robust energy.
Yes. Even though it sounds a little depressing and our energy might not be showing our enthusiasm, in fact, the market is doing really well. You're seeing more homes on the market, you're getting more choices, and buyers are getting more and more comfortable with the 6% rates that they are going out. And we have seen multiple offer situations in the last few months, and that's really a good sign as to people's ability to take on these loans.
Yeah, fortunately and unfortunately, we've been involved in a few of those. Well, as always, we really appreciate you tuning in each week. There's so much more information to come, and so we'll keep you updated as we know more. We look forward to, again, maybe more energy in the next report. We'll have a little bit more caffeine, Denise. We'll do that.
Next week, it will be autumn. It'll be our official first autumn report. So we promise to get pumped up on some caffeine for you.
All right, it's a promise. We'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.
Okay, bye.
Bye.